Okay, 3 points which you're going to remember because they're all the same word. The unmiraculous, the miraculous, and miracles. So if you're tested after Mass, you got no excuse. The unmiraculous, the miraculous, and miracles. First and foremost, always got to be a preface to this extraordinary homily that I concocted in my head many hours ago. We'll see how it turns out. But first and foremost, what you heard is very sincere, very alarming, and very true. You have to believe this. This is Christian. This is Catholic. This is our faith. This is dogma. Take this. Don't take it to I was going to say take it to the bank. I'm not sure anymore. No interest. Interest rate hikes might be coming soon. We don't know. Point is, this is a fact. He's coming back. He's coming back. From all my wounded souls who have a heartbreak, he will console you. For all of those who suffered injustice, he will bring justice. For those who need punishment, who've been sneaking around, making shortcuts, doing bad things, there'll be punishments. For the good, those who've cooperated, those of us who have fallen down, but by the grace of God and the fellowship of other people have gotten back up, you will be rewarded. This is our faith. This is the truth. So that's what the gospel is. Now, clearly, we are in the season of Advent. We are preparing for a coming that happened 2,000 years ago. That's why one candle is lit. Why is one candle lit? Because the light of the world is coming to us. The Jews who waited thousands of years for this coming has arrived. And we're celebrating in preparation. This is a time of preparation. You could say Merry Christmas, but what's called a liturgical, we can't even use that word anymore, a strict person of the liturgy will say, don't say Merry Christmas yet, because it's Advent. It's the preparation time. And for young people, one of the hardest lessons to learn, I'm guilty all day long, one of the hardest lessons to learn, we learned from the Jews. A lot of life is about waiting. A lot of life is about waiting. If you're a young person in school and you can delay gratification, if you could stay in school or trade, whatever you're putting your mind and your heart to, and pour yourself out with passion and diligence and hard work, and wait for the rewards. Don't just look for the pats on the back. Look, God knows your heart. It's nice to get a that-a-boy. Every 7-8 months I get one from Monsignor. It's nice. Haven't got one from Simon yet. But you know what I mean. That's nice. We're all human. We like affirmation. God, can we be big boys and big girls for a little bit? God knows our hearts. We can't sneak on God. So this is a time for purification, for opening ourselves up to this great mystery. Now, we noticed what we had said. He named 3 things by name to avoid in this time of preparation: carousing, drunkenness, and the anxieties of daily life. First of all, embarrassed, and I got to move quickly. In my prior life, I knew about carousing. When I was ordained a priest, I knew about drinking. For those of you who don't know, and I don't know what I am, ashamed, embarrassed, or just telling the truth. I know I'm telling the truth. I at times took too much alcohol. I had a favorable bishop and people who sent me to get some help and a tremendous fellowship, and was shown an unbelievable amount of respect and empathy and sympathy. I don't think I'll get any much more again, but that's not the point. The point is people help me. That's not my issue anymore. Last night, this is just a small note, for whatever reason, I didn't sleep well. The idea of taking a drink to go to bed never entered my mind. That thought never entered my mind. If I had a stiff one, I'd go right back to bed. The thought never entered my mind. If you have a problem drinking, you can be a responsible drunk. You go to work, pay your taxes, pay your bills. You know what you drink when you drink. I'm not talking about the guy underneath the viaduct. Or the what's the thing? The viaduct? Yeah, thank you. Okay, that guy with the trench coat with the bag in his hand. There's a lot of responsible ones. But if that's your issue, make a call. I know what a credible, supportive group that can be of great help to you. If you're a carouser, if your eyes wander, if your primary fault is sensuality, we're in preparation period. Make a good confession, not publicly, privately. Call yourself out. There's help. You know, when I meet people in confession who have the problem of sensuality, one of the first things I say to them, this is true. Don't you feel bad about this? Yeah, I do, Father. Don't you think you deserve more than this and better? Yes, I do. These are two clearly detailed behaviors the Lord calls out. Carousing and drunkenness. Now, the drunk, sadly, the irresponsible drunk, he's already branded. You already know who he is. He might be in your family. You might be supporting him right now. He has an illness. He has a sickness. He has a disease. If you're on the side of the relationship where you have a drunk and he's just out of control or needs help, make that phone call. There's a group for people who suffer from the behaviors of alcoholics. But the point is, they're already branded. You already know who they are. Most of us do. If they're in your family. That's drunky Donnie. That's drunky Tommy or Susie. It doesn't favor one sex or the other. There's a scarlet letter on the person. But what about those who suffer from the anxieties of daily living? You could blend in with the rest of us and nobody would know. You might leave Mass and be the most nervous Nelly ever. You may be the most anxious Adam ever. But you can sneak into our company, we would never know. The Lord's calling you out today too. What are you so nervous about? You know, yesterday, Monsignor, we had a beautiful dinner. Father Simon was away. I was in Haiti. It's really hard for us. If we never show up at your doorstep on a Saturday evening, you'll know why. Because to get the three of us together, we need our own brotherhood at home. We need to break bread together, not just as you and I do, which is essential, of course. It's the heartbeat of our faith. We also got to break physical bread that you brought into our home and share community and share fellowship. And Monsignor, he didn't go on a rant. That's not fair. He gave a long speech about one of the reasons he loves being Catholic and one of the reasons he loves getting his Benedictine. He went to a Benedictine seminary, which is an order of priests and monks and nuns who take the liturgical season. We're in a it's a full year's liturgical season. This happens to be Advent season. They take it very seriously, as we should take it seriously. Like a bugle is being blown, like there's a siren going off. An alarm should be sounded. We are in a liturgical season, a new season. The beginning of the year does not start January 1st. That's what the tax guy says. It starts December 24th at midnight, as we usher in our newborn King. So what's unmiraculous? Carousing, drunkenness, and being so nervous and caught up. Now, there's some depression. I'm not trying to brush with a broad brush. The last thing you tell a depressed person is get over it. I understand that. But for many of us, the bills we pay, the shopping, the consumerism. I know about 5 guys in this neighborhood who are putting up Christmas directions right now with reindeers and Santa who will never visit our church. Or a church. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Something's wrong with that. There are people with the Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing. Hey, if that's you, that's you. I'm not here to bash shoppers. Consumer spending is a large part of our economy. It's not your priority, though. I'm very sorry, I just left Haiti. If little Billy or little Susie doesn't get the Nintendo 97979444792 set, I'm not going to cry over it. If Billy or Susie doesn't get the iPhone 27 with 17 million gigabytes, I'm not crying over it. And what about the kids who rip up their presents? I didn't want that. Now I know why I'm not a parent of children. Can't imagine being in that house. What? Your mother? We work 2 jobs. Again, I don't want to channel my father at this Mass, but I know what would be said. If you get a present you didn't want or you didn't like, you open it up, you smile, you say thank you. And you kindly put the thing back in the box and you return it. Right? Or you give it to somebody else the following year. But you smile at least and say, thank you. Don't be ungrateful. So that's the unmiraculous. We're all familiar with it. We're all familiar with ordinary things we do, sadly, on a daily basis that are not in conformity with the miracles, not in conformity with the light. And I can't do it for you. I can't prosecute your case. But I can tell you, I heard confessions yesterday at 2 separate occasions. I heard confessions yesterday for 2.5 hours. Such beautiful people. Such beautiful people. You know, I'll never forget what Bishop Doran told me. How many years ago? 20 years ago? Only 2 types of people go to confession. Good people and people who want to be good. And I notice those who come to my confession more regularly, we have serious conversations. It's not like the 1940s. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. My last confession was a week ago. I yelled at my mother 57 times. I yelled at... Now, you can still do that. But no, we usually have a conversation. How's your spiritual life going? How's your prayer going? Are you overly anxious about things you have no control over? Can you accept this thing in your life? You know, I said the 7:30 Mass, there was a family who buried her 31-year-old son. And I look over that. It's hard to look over there. Because everything else I want to say gets distracted by their sorrow and by some empathy, some way to connect with this family. And then there's you and I. It's a lot of it's money, a lot of it's relationships, a lot of it's a false sense of egotism. We got to knock it down. And that's a great way to start. It's unmiraculous to walk around like everyone outside these doors. You know, I was so tempted today after Mass. There was a guy walking his dog. I was so tempted. And I hope it doesn't ever involve law enforcement. But I'm just so tempted to pull over my car and say, excuse me, do you know where St. Thomas Church is? He'd probably say, he wouldn't know who I was. I'd have my collar to the side. Yeah, it's over. Have you ever visited it? I'm the priest. I'd like to welcome you to Mass. He'd probably call the cops on me. But I'm tempted. I see a lot of physically healthy people at the health club. They have no idea about this gathering. So let me tell you about this gathering. Let me tell you why we are here today. The truly miraculous. You see, it's not a secret. Christ was already born. He was born on a cold winter's night, almost to the day, 2,000 years. And he ushered for us in a kingdom. He said, forget these other leaders, forget these false gods. I am the one true God, and I will lead you by a way, I am the life, to an eternal kingdom, to a place we spoke of, where there is perfect justice and peace. And you could participate in that kingdom now. Look, we're not waiting for Christ to be born on Christmas Eve at midnight. I'm waiting, you're waiting, especially those who know me, for me to finish this homily, to do the creed, get the petitions done, so we can have Christ born not in a stable in Bethlehem, but in our hearts, and come to life in our souls. Now that's miraculous. That's why I'm Catholic. We have so much in common. As the world turns, some of this stuff's already happening. Country is turning against country. I just saw this on a talk show. After the bombing of Pearl Harbor, Franklin D. Roosevelt got a map out. It's a true story. He got a map out of his fireside chat, and he asked all the Americans to get a map. And he said to all the Americans in this address, hey, why do you think we're going to the Pacific? Why should we send your young men and women over there to shed their blood and spend our treasure? Because it's a world war. And if we don't act, that's just what Franklin Roosevelt said. It's not Father Koutnik. Franklin D. Roosevelt. If we don't do this, this will come back on us. I think we should get some maps out. You should get a map out once in a while. You know where the Pope is right now as I speak to you? Central African Republic. You know what's going on over there? Look it up. Google it. There are some hard times, folks. There are some pains in government and in countries you and I couldn't imagine. Honestly, before we went to Haiti, we actually went to someone's house on a Saturday. We all got together, we went to someone's house. And we were mentioning how dangerous it would be to go to Haiti. And when we got done talking, I'm like, Haiti, dangerous? It ain't North Africa. It ain't Central Africa. It ain't West Africa. It ain't Syria. I can keep going. And I want to show off my geography skills here. We'll do that later. But my point is, my simple point, it's not Bethlehem we're returning to. He's returning to us in Holy Communion, Wherever you are in your Christian faith regarding the Holy Eucharist, the breaking of the bread, this great Thanksgiving, up your game, tighten it up, grow it. There's nothing so important. There's no priest, no pope, no one, no prophet is ever going to come to this pulpit, ever, and tell you something more important than who you're about to receive. Don't ever forget that. The people who walk away from the Catholic Church and they say, oh, but Joel Osteen, I saw him today. Excuse me for saying so. I caught some of his act earlier today. It was nice. I never saw a guy smile so much. I wish I could smile I wish I had that temperament. Smile all the homily. See my wife, she's pretty. Smile, pretty. I think she's got her own ministry now. I'm not mocking Joel Osteen. I just wish life was so rosy for me. We got enemies. The devil's on the march. My point is, they walk away from the Catholic Church and they say, oh, I go to South Barrington because I get fed. What does that mean? You got a better homily? Someone gave you a more intellectual display of the faith? Did you receive Holy Communion? Oh, we received Holy Communion. Is it the same as ours? Oh, it's the same as ours. Do you have a tabernacle where you save and reserve Jesus after? No, we don't. Then don't tell me it's the same. It's not. I come for Holy Communion. I come for a mind, body, soul experience with the one living God. That happens every time we come to Mass. Now that's miraculous. Now for miracle. 2 miracles. Number 1. Excuse me for saying so. I'm going to pass it by quickly. Thanksgiving Day. Bears beat the Packers. Sorry, they happen. Whether you're a Packer fan or not, my condolences to you. Number 2 miracle. I'm done.